All right, I'm here with Fox. He's our head fabricator at Performance Center. We've got a car back here, as you can see, on the jig. We're working on it. We're getting ready to show you episode 2
with Tommy Strup.
Tommy Strup, our buddy. Hope you guys enjoy it. Check back. We're going to keep doing it. We got Randy LaJoy coming up. Got a lot of different people that want to get on there. So drop us a comment what you think. See what you'd like to see Fox do. Thanks. Welcome back to the grind. I'm sure you saw a little intro there about this is Tommy Strup, really good friend of mine. He's come out to talk to us today. He started a little thing called TDS, and he's also working at Heinz Brothers selling things. So I'd like to introduce everybody in the PRW world to Tommy Strup.
Hey, how are you?
I'm glad he came out. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. We bought things from him for years and years, and try to give you guys a little bit of a look into some of the places we get things, some of the resources I use when we run into things. You know, Tommy is one of the guys that I ask quite a few brake questions to. There's a couple guys that I like to run things off of. So, you know, maybe you can add Tommy into your repertoire of tools. He is from up north, so he hustles some things, and he'll find you a lot of stuff if he can't. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to do, you and your wife are going to do.
Well, basically, I'm from Long Island, New York. Moved here in 1995. Went to go work for several different places.
Sure.
Worked CB
Where?
Products.
CB.
Worked for Central High Performance. Worked at BSR for a very short time. Worked at Heinz. Then I stayed at Pro System in Mooresville there for 12 years, and learned quite a bit about brakes.
Is that your specialty, you'd say?
I'd like to think so. I know quite a bit about it, and feel comfortable with it.
So is that kind of what you're trying to do with some of your new things, is trying to venture down, you know, still trying to help Heinz Brothers, still trying
Yes.
to sell things like you were, but is it beneficial for you to kind of try to go down a niche where you can benefit these people that haven't maybe helped in your experiences? Tommy, what brakes do I use? Or
Right.
the thing that I think a lot of people miss about you, where I've found value, is that Tommy knows what a lot of people run, meaning he knows whether modified guys run X rotor, late model stock car guys run X rotor, so he's able to really stay on top of what different people are running. Just because you don't sell just to, like, I'm somewhat limited because I sell just to late model stock car guys, so I only get to hear what they have to say. You get a lot more variation of that.
Yeah, I have quite a wide customer base when it comes to all sorts of different things, not just brakes, but, you know, hose and fittings and crimping machines and, you know, all sorts of different things. But the main thing that I sell quite a bit of is a lot of braking stuff. I get a lot of questions from a lot of different people that run different kinds of cars, from, you know, Ford Focus midgets to mini stocks to, you know, guys that run over at Bowman Gray every week. I'm there helping them out, taking care of stuff.
So that's
Making sure that they have the right package under them to be able to race properly.
Is that something new that you're kind of going to do? I know you go to the racetrack a lot now. You and your wife take your camper and
Yep.
go and make it a weekend, and it's an interesting deal. I really like it. It's what we need more of in short track racing. So, I guess people need to know, you know, that they can come up to you at the racetrack and try to get some of your expertise for some different things, or, you know, ask questions about what you have available or what you don't. Yeah.
Correct, absolutely. Anybody can come up to me at any time and ask a question about brakes, ask a question about what they need to do, what compound they need to run, at what track. You know, if they're having a handling issue, I provide a service to where we can actually take a brake bias gauge and put it into the race car so that you have live time of what's going on when the driver's on the brake pedal.
What does something like that cost?
You're looking around $1,200.
That's for how long? Is that for like a weekend or a one day, or what? How's that work?
You buy it. It's yours.
Oh, you own it.
You can rent it if you want.
Maybe that's something we should do. We should start renting them out. I bet you a lot of people would be surprised what their brake stuff is.
Oh, I could tell you, man.
I could buy a couple of them and maybe rent them out to people, huh?
Yeah. absolutely. I can't tell you how many people come up to me and they say, "Hey, you know, I'm having an issue with my handling, and the car is free or it's
Sure.
tight or whatever." And half the time, they don't even have a guy checking brake temperatures.
Right. Is that
And
something you do at the racetrack for
yeah,
people?
yeah, I can help people out if people want that. I try to cater to my customers. So if I have a customer that's buying X amount from me and he's a regular customer, I'll make sure that I'm at the track to cater to him
Sure.
or that team, and
You
I
know,
pretty much do it for anybody.
yeah, I was just getting ready to say that's kind of a little misleading. Like I'm going to pick on Tommy right here because he's just being big business guy, but that's really not Tommy. Like, I, not one time I don't think I've ever heard you say, no matter how big the order was or how small it was from me, or from anybody for that matter, that you wouldn't try to way to figure it out. I mean,
Yeah,
you're Tommy's one of them guys that'll call you back because I forget, right? I'm the epitome of screwing things up because I'm just stretched so thin. Um, but what makes the difference is that service. You call me back and hey, did you forget this or do you need this? I know this is your time, and I think that's also some of what you bring to your customer in that
yeah.
world.
So
And
I tell you, one of the biggest things I've learned from working for different places and different people is that customer service is by
oh,
far
sure,
number one.
sure,
I mean, and you know that, me working with you,
yeah,
you call
oh
me
yeah,
up and
you
say,
get it
"Hey,
from me
Tommy,
whenever.
I need this," and if I'm 2
Close,
minutes away,
right?
I'll go get it and bring it to you.
I agree.
You know,
I agree. We still got Mike working in the background. Um, it's uh, it's 12:30. It's 418 degrees in here.
yep.
Yeah, because I'm too cheap to put air conditioning in. But we'll talk about buying brake bias gauges to rent them out to the customers. I'm just that guy. I'm sorry. So, what you're still working for Heinz? Tell people
Yes.
kind of how that's working because you do a great job for them too. I know I buy a lot of stuff through Heinz from you too. So tell people how that's working.
Well, basically, I do outside sales for them. I live real close to the shop, so I'm able to bounce back and forth between where I live and go there. Um, carry a wide stuff, Wellwood, performance friction, uh, Brembo. I mean, basically anything that anybody wants. XRP, um,
DRP.
DRP,
Sure.
uh,
About all
Woodward.
the same brands that every other race shop carries.
Yeah,
I think the difference, the thing that makes you stand out, to be really honest with you, is it's your brand and service, right? Like, I don't mean this to be rude. I
no,
love everybody at Heinz Brothers. But I bet you I haven't called there since you started working there, right? And when you worked at Pro Systems before that, I
yeah,
never called there. I called directly to you, and
yeah,
that's what makes the difference to me is being able to. I appreciate talking to Greg Fernelli at SRI or somebody like that, but that doesn't mean that I need to do that all the time. So I appreciate the fact that you try to pick up some of that slack, and I think it will be beneficial in this new venture that you started, definitely with that same model.
yeah. I mean, that's the only model you can have.
Is your plan, what is your plan? Because it's not really a brick and mortar plan, right? Like,
Right.
how are you looking to advertise your stuff out there? People just word of mouth at the racetrack, people calling you. You're on social media now, right? You're
Yeah,
on
yep.
TDS, is on Facebook, right?
Facebook,
Um,
Instagram, Twitter.
Instagram and Twitter. All right, we'll put those. I don't know, maybe like here or somewhere. I don't know. We'll link them up there somewhere, but that way you can find you. Um, uh, so that's how they can get a hold of you. They can call you. What's your phone number? Tell them how to
You can
get you.
call me 704-517-2418.
2418
Yep. And
TDS.
you get me directly. I pretty much, I'll answer the phone at all different
Don't give it
times.
away this early yet. Don't say that yet.
Well,
That's it. People don't need to know that. I got one last night at I think it was 10:30.
nah, at 10:30, I'm sleeping.
Nah, I was
I've
still
had a
up.
couple of cocktails.
You know me.
What I mean? I'm just
Nah.
like, I gotta.
You know me. ADD me. I'm still up working
Yeah.
on something. Like, how do I sell something else? I'm crazy. Well, I appreciate you coming by, Tommy. I'm gonna start. We're gonna start doing some things together, Tommy and I. He's got access to a lot of modified guys and stuff that I'd really like to have on some older owners, some different people, just bring a new spectrum to this. I don't want this to just get completely short tracked. I think short track is so much bigger than just
Right.
Hickory or
Oh,
Motor Mile or whatever. I really want to try to use some of the leverage that we have in a small basis for a national, and I just think that your parts deal is gonna be an interesting way for your business. That's what I if I could tell people things about your business, all I would want them to know is that you're investing in Tommy's brand. So the coolest part about it is I've done business with him for a long time, so it's not a real big deal to me. But some of you that haven't, the interesting part is, yes, I get mad at him, but anybody that's done business with me knows how I am, right? Like I expect perfection all the time. That's just that's just me. Uh, but I haven't been let down, and people need to know that they can call you and get their Will Wood and get different things that you
well,
help a
I
lot of people
appreciate it.
with.
It's like I try to tell everybody. I go, it's not just a matter of calling me up and getting a couple of rotors. It is a package, and it starts out with the hub, and then you get wheel bearings, and then you get a rotor, and then depending on your rules, you can float that rotor.
Sure.
You know, and it's just everything as much low drag stuff as you can. I sell all the DRP products, and that's a really really big deal is with drag.
Let's talk about modified stuff for you. I know that's something that you're kind of bridging into more because even around this area, there's not too many people that handle modified stuff, right? So,
Right.
let's what for modifieds are your big sellers that you do a lot of? Oh, you were talking about hydraulic jacks, I think, the other day, right? Weren't you? And you were also talking about things that you can sell that you don't necessarily have a catalog for yet, but
Oh
you
yeah, the Burt
people really
the
like.
Burt jacks and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm
Yep.
a distributor for Burt transmissions, and they have an air jack that people can use at the racetrack, and
Nice.
bring it into the shop, and it's a really nice unit, so it picks the whole car up in one shot.
That's what I'm saying. See, these are some of the things that we get so stuck in our late model stock car world that I think we forget that in in the early 2000s in the Cup world, the aircraft industry really, really, really had a big influence on things, and I think
Right.
that we need to look outside of doing the same things over and over and over and over
Right.
again. And I see the modifieds with the popularity that they seem to be just still holding on to, which is baffling for me by seeing what they get in the South, which is not tons and tons, right? Like it's
Right.
Bowman Gray or nothing,
Yeah,
kind
it's
of.
basically, um, you have the Southern Modified Tour, SMRS Tour, and that's a great little tour, and it's working out really well. They have a limited amount of races, and they're trying to find funding for sponsorship, just like everybody else.
Sure.
Um,
You think people are doing that the right way? It's a tangent I'm on lately. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we're only 12 minutes in. We're going to try to do a 30-minute episode. I really think people are doing it wrong.
yeah,
I
as
think
far as
trying to raise money.
yeah,
They all say the same exact thing to me over and over. I can't find no money.
right,
Well, what do you got to sell?
right. What are you
Nothing.
bringing to the table?
I can't find no money. Well, yeah, you got nothing to sell. I mean,
Right.
I'm confused. There has to be some other stuff that can be done. These are also the same people that aren't doing much. Do you see younger guys? What's your young guy that's out there hustling right now? The rocket launcher? Ain't that his name? What's his name?
Yeah, James Savali.
Yeah, no, I
He's
knew
a
his
good buddy
name.
of mine.
I knew his name. I just didn't know what his stage name was. He came here, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was a few months ago.
Yeah, what was his
That was
stage
an
name?
interesting show.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Great
James is
driver.
good people, man.
Yeah, it seems like a good people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you gonna try to take this online?
In time,
Yeah.
I don't want to jump into where I'm overwhelmed and out of control to where
Sure.
I can't take care of people the
Because
correct
you're
way.
the service side, right? Like I think you're,
Right.
and you and I have talked about it. So if you're a guy that's, in my opinion, if you're a guy that doesn't like the internet and doesn't like whatever, and you want to talk to somebody that does business the old time parts way, and I don't mean it to be a
No.
bad, but there's not a lot of people that do it that way
No.
anymore. And the interesting part is that there's still some guys like Tommy that have done things for years and years and years and are used to leveraging things that way. And I think that they win, right? Like right here, because so many of these other places you just become a number. I think with Tommy, he knows he actually knows what parts I need. is, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
More
well,
than,
I mean,
and I think that's beneficial to a lot of people that don't exactly know what they need, but they can. That's what they're looking for, the information.
yeah, they want to know, what's available to them, and not only that, they want to know how quick they can get it. I
Right.
mean, people don't want to be able to call somebody up and say, "Hey, can you get this for me?" "Oh yeah, well I can drop ship it to you in two
Right.
days."
Right.
No, they want it like, "Hey man, I need
Now.
it now. I need it
Right.
today or tomorrow."
It's time.
It's all about it.
All about time, in my opinion. What? Where are you going this weekend?
Uh, what's on the agenda? Oh, Bowman Gray, last final race of the season,
Yes.
championship on the line.
Championship.
It's a tight battle I hear between Bert,
Slugfested
Tim, and
over there all
James.
year.
Yeah, it's been.
There'll be 20,000 there this week. I don't think it holds 20,000. It was 12 or something, right?
Yeah,
It seems like there's 20 when
Yeah.
when I try to walk out of there and find my car after it's over.
and it takes you 3 hours to get out
Yeah,
of the
for
racetrack.
sure, for sure. What are you excited about that's coming along? Anything new that's getting ready to happen that you're happy about? Myrtle Beach 400 is always an exciting time for me.
Well,
right? Martinsville, same.
Yep. There's, I'm starting to branch out into the dirt market,
I think you should.
and I'm gonna start going to some dirt shows. There's some races coming up at Cherokee Speedway that I want to go check out. Um, you know, kind of just open my spectrum, so to speak, so that I can get more of a customer base.
Have you done any much dirt stuff or no?
No.
Has that not been a big thing for you?
No, I never really was. A few years ago, I'd say maybe 10, 12 years ago, I was helping out somebody on dirt.
That was
But-
Mike that just walked through. He don't even care, right? Like he just walked through, like
I
whatever.
didn't even see him.
Yeah, he just wandered through with his shot. It was awesome. They're on lunch, so he's just cruising through, checking what we're doing. Back to work.
So, basically, I haven't really done a lot of dirt stuff at all. I mean,
Right.
but I'm open to it.
Sure.
Obviously. Heinz Brothers.
You do a lot of Heinz does a lot of
Yeah,
dirt stuff,
Heinz
right?
Brothers,
That's kind of their wheelhouse.
They do a lot of dirt stuff, a lot of drag race stuff.
Are they still pretty busy? Are you guys jammed up over there?
Slammed.
Right.
Oh,
The
building
economy's
motors
good.
left and right, and the counter is absolutely slammed all the time. There's always people coming and going.
That's awesome.
Because we sell a lot of different things from nitrous to
Sure, they're super
tires
diverse down there.
to
Yeah.
fuel. Everything.
Yep.
And they're located right over there at Old Mountain Road, 1475 Old Mountain Road,
Yeah.
Statesville.
There you go. I went in there and saw something. I don't really get to go out that much, but I went in there and they had these things that you could put in your gas tank and it made your fuel smell a certain way. And I was like, what was that?
Yeah, no,
Interesting.
that's-
All kind of stuff.
I think that
Said a
we
lot of
could
people
use
come
that-
in there.
Oh yeah, we could use that to our advantage. I think.
Really?
I think that if I get a couple that
They had all kind of stuff in there, all kind of different flavors, all kind of different whatever. It was,
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of. I was my horizon was broadened. I didn't know. What do you make about all the things going on in late model stock right now? It seems to be tough. It seems to be a lot of points battle-ish stuff. It's nobody knows what to do with what because it drops, and the system's pretty complicated. So, in your world, modified world, and dibbling on some late model stock, I know you do some stuff with Tommy Lemon. Some of them people, right? Like,
Yeah.
What do you hear? Happy with things are going? It's been a good year for a lot of people. Been a bad year for a lot of people.
A lot of people, they're staying busy. There's a lot of, obviously, there's a lot of development driver programs that people are trying
Sure.
to promote and do, and not only race themselves, but then they have people that are racing for them and other cars.
So what would you say that percentage of your business is? How much? Development deals.
Development deals, I'd have to say maybe 30%, 20%.
In the South?
Yeah, because that doesn't really happen
At
up
all.
north.
That's
Nobody's
what I'm
doing
saying.
Nobody's doing development
That's why
deals up
That's
north.
why I wanted to ask. I see, like when I get Yankees on the show, I like to ask them Yankee type questions. And the interesting part about that was
You're a Yankee.
I am, right?
are.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I just
So let's just get that straight.
correct. But my problem is that I don't get the opportunity to get other people to say things that I want to say but can't very often. It's amazing to me how we don't get up north. There's very, very, very few driver development deals, if
Right.
any, right? But yet here, this is the mecca of where everybody comes to learn that
Sure.
they believe.
Right,
So,
because they want to move up,
Right.
and everybody wants to become a.
do you think that's the way to do it? To move here and do it that way?
It makes life a lot easier.
when you live here.
when you live here.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, to do it up there, you have
To
a
do it
select.
anywhere, right? Like
Well, yeah. I
California.
mean, you have a select handful type of people that got the break,
Right.
you know, to come
That's
to
the one thing
the
I can
South.
say I was proud of Rick Ankrum and Tyler Ankrum and Michelle Ankrum was they knew from the get that they had to be here,
Oh yeah.
right? Like they knew there was no way that they could do it going back and forth across the
Right.
country. It was very difficult.
You know, and there's people that you know, my buddy Andy, typical Andy Seitz, a friend of mine, and you know, he moved here to follow a dream, and that's
Sure.
what he's doing, and he's doing a really good job of it. And you know, I think when it's all said and done, when he's done doing what he wants to do racing wise, he'll probably move back up north. And
Yeah,
you know, I think that's what a lot of people do. They come here to
because
go
it's
after
their
their dream
passion.
and do what
Yeah.
they do, and then when it's all said and done, they go where they want to go.
Yeah, I won't do that. My wife's from here. I
Yeah,
got
I'm
no
not
shot.
doing that either.
Right.
I can't afford it.
I like to go back up there sometimes though. I do like
It is.
I like the fall and stuff up there. I think it's cool and pretty trees. But I like the mountains too. I'm really for anything. So, well,
Cooler than this shop right now, I'll tell you that.
but this is like, see, this is actually, if you come in and talk to the guys, this is part of our performance center training program. So back in Archibald, Ohio, the little tiny town that I was born and raised in, we had a wrestling room, and our wrestling coach tried to break us mentally on a fairly regular basis, and it made us all better people. And the most intriguing part of that happening is that I got strong guys. It's 150 degrees in here. You can,
They're
you
like,
can
it's no
think
big
in,
deal.
yeah, if you could think in here, you could think anywhere.
Yeah.
Cut your arm off or something stupid, you know what I mean? Got to be a brave place to work.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm blessed to have good people, so it's not really the problem. As you can see, they just kind of do their own thing, and I get a chance to be out front talking to a lot of people and seeing how we can promote them. People kind of gave me heck for you being a guest on the show because they said it was contradictory. Like, don't I sell parts? And I said, yep. And they said, well, why would you? And I said, because when I can give the service that Tommy gives on the one-on-one, I have 700 customers. It's hard for me to do that. But I respect what you're doing for the racer, and I think that's where the win is, right? Like the old racer, he wants you to help him, and I think we just got to connect you two together.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I appreciate everything you're doing for me. I really am.
Yeah, I think it's not for you necessarily. I mean, it is for you because we're friends, but I'm interested in more of, we got to bring people to the forefront. Like, a lot of these good people aren't getting the praise that they need to. You know what I mean? A lot of the guys that answer their phone at 10 o'clock at night or
Right.
you know what I'm saying? They're kind of drifting into the weeds here and go in a different direction. That's where I think we got to remind people of how the game is supposed to be played. This was a
Right.
service industry.
This is a service industry.
That's
Exactly.
right. I mean,
know?
you got to get what you can get, and do what you're supposed to do.
Right. You know, if somebody calls you and it's 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, hey, they're actually calling because they're probably working on their race car.
Well, my wife's not a ginormous fan of it, but I get so much more done, to be real honest with you, in the evening, just because my customer is home, most of them. All my customers, they don't have full-time guys, right? They're home in the evening. They're working on their car. Now's when they have the question. They don't have the question during the day.
Right.
They're working on
They're working on
work.
the car now.
Life is in the way, right? So
Yeah.
that's where I found a huge value in Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger has kind of changed the game for my business in the fact of there's not very many times where I can't respond to you in 20, 25 minutes, very seldom. I also have a couple people that watch it with me so that if you need an instantaneous answer, you can.
Right.
And I think that's some of it, right? Like some of it's the speed or just somebody to ask a question to,
Right.
or half the time I save people money. Like, and I don't mean that as a bad, but my business model is not built on I have to have your $80 for that caliper that you want, or my guys aren't going to be able to eat this week. That it's not right. So I think if I can put the 80 back in your pocket and I can bring it down to where you can get some value for it yourself, then you buy tires the next week or do whatever.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
I think
no,
that's one place that we're both seem to be winning a little bit, and it's not necessarily about squeezing the dollar so much as it is about making sure you get what you need. So you did squeeze the dollar.
Right. Right.
Where do you see this thing in 5 years? What's your plan? So that 5 years from now, I'm gonna set an alarm, and then I'm gonna call you back and talk junk to you because I have it online now. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do you what's your plan with TDS? Continue to grow it. Continue to
Yeah,
grow Heinz
continue to
too.
grow, continue to do what I'm doing right now, and just move on from there. I mean, take it one day at a time. That's all I can do.
Right.
You know, you know, got all sorts of good people behind me
For sure you do.
that are helping me to go along. You know, Steve Hines is an amazing man,
Great dude.
and um, he has helped me beyond help. I have another friend of mine in New York that helped me get started, do it, and I'll tell you, it's been it's a little intimidating, and it's a little scary.
For sure.
You know, when you don't know that, okay, you know, I gotta sell parts because I gotta make my mortgage payment.
Right.
You know.
That's an interesting thing that I want to give a different perspective maybe to the racer on quick, and that might be it, right? Like I like to try to give a different perspective in every one of these things, right? Like I want people to watch it and be like, dang, I didn't ever think about the guy selling parts that thought of that. What would you say that the biggest thing about your job that you would like somebody else to know is? Like, I don't think people understand sometimes that it's not like you just have a huge inventory of parts somewhere. And I know they don't care. That's the way you win because
Right.
you figure out a way to achieve it. But what is the hardest part for you? The timeline? People's timelines are unrealistic? Is it that their delivery requests are too high? Is it that they are also the same people that don't seem to want to pay for the product? What would you say from your standpoint without bashing your customer
No.
base? Because I'm not. Well, this is definitely a generalization, but if 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 your customer, because I think most of our customers want to have a better relationship with us, but they don't know how,
Right.
right? Like when a customer shows up with a car that's the front clip is good on, but they still have the motor in it, and the rear clip is not completely off, they don't understand we can't put it on the jig that way,
Right.
right?
Right.
So the more we educate them, now the more they come, we've made the transition more seamless. So if you need a rear clip, like you can't leave the motor in.
Right.
Not everybody
Right.
knew that.
Right.
So, what would you say your biggest hang up is? Is it credit card payments? Is it getting people the random things that they need? Is it the suppliers that you work with not being able to hold enough inventory to meet you? What would you say your biggest struggle is?
That's an open question. You know, I'll be honest with you. It varies from week to week, from day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Different struggles because sometimes it's a matter of not being able to get the product from the manufacturer.
Talking to the
Oh,
microphone.
sorry.
That's good. No, you're fine.
And you know, a lot of times it's not being able to get the product
The
from the
parts.
manufacturer, and it's on back order, and then the customer is wondering what's going on.
Right?
You know, and that gets very, very frustrating for me. Um,
Sticky.
yeah, because you know you don't want to upset the customer. You don't want the customer to go someplace else, obviously.
Uh-huh.
You know,
But
and
that's something that it's basically a funnel because the manufacturer then at that point is holding you up, correct?
correct.
See, that's what I think people
But
don't. People cuss me about 5 star, right? Like I get yelled at on a regular basis about 5 star, about how I'm not keeping enough or whatever, and I order a large amount, but they can't fulfill just because the timelines or things that they
well,
have
see,
busy.
and you know, one of the things that I do that a lot of other people may not do is that if I have a customer and he needs something and the manufacturer don't have it or I can't get it from the manufacturer, it's going to be 2 weeks, but I know I can get it someplace else, but I'm not going to make any money on it.
Sure, I do it all the time.
Right.
Got to,
You got to.
got to.
Because the customer has to have it. So you know what? So I take a bath and I say, you know what? I'm not going to make anything on
I
this,
care about
but
them,
my
right?
customer's going to be happy.
And hopefully they win long, right? Like I'm not,
Right.
I'm not playing the short game. I don't think people understand. Like, I'm at the right place right now. I
Right.
mean, I'm 10 years into this thing, right? I had
I
great
remember when you
great
first started,
people in
man.
the beginning, right? Like
Yeah.
great people in the beginning, still great people now. I mean, the people that were involved 10 years ago, most of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but most of them are still effective in a way or We have an open door policy or whatever, and it's just the people, right? I've been super fortunate, and I think that many of us have been fortunate to be surrounded by good people, but I'm not playing a game to win one chassis this week.
Right.
I'm paying to feed all my guys. I'm not paying,
Correct.
I'm playing to all my guys have families.
Yep.
They need to be taken care of. There's a building payment, there's the taxes, there's
It's
electrical,
everything.
right? Like, and no different than them. That if I could say anything, that would be my largest thing that I would like to do personally. Is I just want people, not in a bad way, because I appreciate every single customer of mine. I want people to just understand that we got like a small business too, and that we're
Right.
trying to. Everybody's trying to hustle as hard as they can, just like they are. And
Yeah.
sometimes I make mistakes for sure, right? Because I'm just overwhelmed with trying to do too much, just because I don't think it affords monster salaries.
I went someplace else for a second.
Sure.
But you remember when I was talking to you about those ball joints when I got here?
Yep. Yep.
You know, and that I had that's frustrating to me. UPS.
Sure.
That is
There you go.
frustrating.
Sure. Yes. That's a
UPS
perfect example.
Right. UPS is very frustrating sometimes. I sent out 2 ball joints to a customer in Concord from
North
Statesville,
Carolina.
In North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
It's literally a half-hour drive.
Right. 20 minutes. Yep.
And those ball joints ended up in Concord, Minnesota.
Customer
And-
pissed.
He was asking me, I was driving here, and he called me up and said, "Where's my ball joints? I ordered them on August 1st. Well, here it is, the 13th. I still don't have them.
12 days
Your
ago.
ball joints went to Minnesota, dude, and then they came back.
So did they ever make it right? What do they do
They're
now?
in Kannapolis right now. The ball joints went full circle.
See,
And that's crazy. And
I-
you know what?
that's why I
He
end up.
had to go and take a old ball joint
Uh-huh.
and use an old ball joint, which he wasn't sure if it was going to be right or not,
Right. Sure.
and put it in his car and hope that it doesn't break.
That's that.
Right?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Speaking.
It's terrible.
I can see.
Yeah, I know. I get some. The other day, I had a customer that called me and said, "Hey, I 100% need these 2 springs by today,
Right.
or by X day." I said, "No problem, 100% good, not a big deal."
Right.
Walked over, didn't come, didn't come, didn't come. I put the new kid in my van and delivered them an hour and 40 minutes away because I told the customer that I would do it.
Right.
I
That's
lost.
what it's all about.
Right,
man.
but I lost. I mean, I lost probably $70 on the transaction, but
Yep.
I don't care. I think that I got to win the war, right? Like, I'm the racer guy. That's what
Yep.
people, I think you're going to see, that's where I think you're going to see the divide. I think the guys that aren't racers are going to slowly go away. I think they're slowly going to go away. And I think the guys that are racers are going to start doubling down.
And I want people to understand too, Raj. You know, you're a racer.
Yep. Well, yeah, I
I'm
used
a
to be.
racer.
I'm lazy
Right.
now. Fat and lazy. No?
I'm just going to leave it alone.
Okay.
But I want people to realize that I am a racer.
Right.
Somebody calls me up about a question about a modified. Hey, I've worked on modifieds,
Sure.
and I know what's what on it, and how to get them to the next step. You know, if they're going to go and go over to Bowman Gray, never been there. Hey, what do I put in it for springs?
Right.
I can give you that.
You can
I tell
baseline
you-
them.
I can tell them how much wedge to put in it.
Yeah.
Left side. I can get them, and
You-
like you said, a baseline.
Right. And that's what I think that's what I'm learning, the majority of our customers are into. But you're going to carry modified bumpers and things like that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Carrying them? Are
Yep.
you carrying them now, or you
No.
Heinz carry them, or
No.
you're just going to carry them, or what?
Yeah, we're working on that deal right now.
Yeah, this is all
it's a-
pretty new. I
it's-
guess I should have said that early.
Well, it's the end of the season. Basically, Bowman Gray has 1 week left.
Right.
The Southern Modified Tour, SMRS, I think they have either 3 or 4 races left, and then that's it.
That's it.
So Bowman Gray is over in August, and the SMRS is, they go further, obviously, but they have a total of maybe 4 or 5 races or something left on the series, and then it's over. So for me, and you being a businessman, putting in a bunch of inventory at the end of the season to have you sitting there,
Yeah, but I'm actually going the other way.
you're
I'm
putting in a bunch
whacking
of inventory.
everybody. Nobody can figure out what I'm doing. I've filled the whole thing back there. I'm going the other direction because truly believe that this winter is going to be phenomenal.
Right, I do too.
I think that I can tell you this: that Performance Center had its worst month of its life this year, but it's also had some of its better times. I think that we just have to find balances that see things and diversify. I have a bunch of other things that are happening that people are going to be intrigued about. Tommy and I are maybe kind of partially in on a few of them,
Yep.
just as goofballs. And I think that you're going to be interesting to see the way that racing as a whole changes here in the next little bit. I think that I've been working very hard on trying to put something together that's basically like a summit or a motor state for racers, for like local racers, because you can't call up to Summit and say you need X. They don't care. They
They don't
only know
know.
the part number, right? Like they
If you call those places and say, "Hey, I need a XD Willwood hub,"
right. They have no idea what XD
they're
is.
like, "What?"
Right.
They don't know that it's a 270 121C.
Sure.
They don't know the number.
Sure.
You know.
I also think it's gonna do a lot of different things. I think we can, give people an outlet to do some things. Tommy and I are definitely gonna review some different parts that both you sell and I
Yep.
sell. It'll be good to give you guys some comparisons between like a standard Willwood hub and like a Willwood XD hub. We're gonna show you what the differences are, why they're there, what they do. Tommy will be in and out as he can. I'm going to definitely do a ton of it. We got Randy LaJoy, who's going to be swinging by in the next couple of days. He called the other day and told me what a goofball I was and how he'd swing up here and talk junk to me. So we'll see how it all works out. Once again, it's Tommy Strup. You can check him out on all of his social media. We'll try to link it in the description below. All of his social media. Go like him, follow him, see what he's got. I hope the audio is better. Sorry I screwed all that up the last time. I just not real sure how to use all this yet. But I'm getting closer, and I can promise you that it'll continue to get better. I'm not a very good loser, and I know my dad is watching, so that's brutal. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, my dad's watching too.
nobody can crush me but my dad. So I let us know if you want to see anything. Let us know if you want to come on.
Yeah.
Tommy's going to at least try to do a weekly spot with us.
Yep. I'm gonna try to bring on a couple of different people with me that we can talk
Yeah.
to and
Give his
jam
business
with
some
and-
pub and do right. Like some of them I might not even be on. We just may let Tommy sit here and jam it out and go out with his people. So we'll do all we can do. If you got somebody that you want to see us interview or you want to see me interview, we're here every day 8 to 5, Monday through Thursday. And on Fridays, we're here 8 to 2. We got 5-star Strange Ovo. We have many of the things that you can eat. Matter of fact, we just probably give advice more than anything. So you can call us at 704-838-1400. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Thanks for coming by. I
Yeah,
appreciate you as
no
usual.
problem.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.
Thank you.